miss it. Oh.
Alrighty, double checking those levels. It looks like we are live for another week, but I am tiny. Playing around with some things the other day has certainly moved some things around for me. And let me fix that so you guys can maybe see a little bit more of me. As I'm adjusting, I am incredibly happy to be back for another week out of Thylea Plays Odyssey of the Dragonlords. It has been a long ass time. I think it's been like legit 4 weeks since we last played a session. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's been wild.
3 weeks
Yeah.
off.
Too long.
Yeah, agreed. Wow, yeah. A lot of stuff was like, yep, I'm out. Let's see. Today is just wild. while I'm looking for this stuff, I know it's been a hot second. You will also notice that at this point, thank you, Ice Cold Milk ASW, that, you know, we don't have Marissa with us tonight. She sadly caught COVID last week, which was the reason why it didn't come back. Partially. We had a couple of us, you know, on vacation and different things and stuff like that. Tyler Bear. But really at the end of it, it was just not a good spot to pick up with so many people missing. So I'm excited to pick it back up. Definitely have Marissa in your thoughts as we're moving forward with this, just so that hopefully she can start feeling a little bit better here soon. As I'm getting one thing restarted really quick, do you guys have anything that you want to shout out? Anything cool that you guys have seen around the Nerdiverse?
I think the D&D movie trailer was announced since we streamed last.
What did you think of it?
I don't want actually. Sorry, I don't watch movie trailers personally. I really
Just go
don't like
blind.
having it spoiled at all. Yeah.
I thought it was a good trailer.
great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I honestly did too. And anyone like we on the community, some people were like, "Oh man, this is blah 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 blah." I was like, "Nah, this actually honestly looks fun." I'm glad that they got some good talent for it. I'm glad that they put some decent money into the CGI. It looks like, and overall, it's I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think it's just going to be a fun romp. You know, people that expect some Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings type deep thing. Yeah, I 100% am sure they're going to be absolutely just disappointed. Let's put it that way. But I'm excited for it. I think it is going to be a lot of fun. But if you guys disagree, I mean, let me know.
No, I think the biggest thing they've opened themselves up for already is people that have been playing D&D forever nitpicking things like druids can't turn into owlbears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like according to which edition and according to whom. Like a DM can always stretch the rules. Like that's literally the baseline for the DMG is like whatever the DM says goes essentially.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm excited.
But they still wrote 209 pages and charged you $50 for it.
I saw a TikTok that was like, there's going to be two people when it comes to the D&D movie. There's going to be the people that think it looks fun and think it looks like it's going to be a good movie, and there's going to be the people that want a D&D movie where the actors stop every 6 seconds to debate the rules and what they can and can't do.
I did see a meme that was like, why would you run away from the tentacle attack of the displacer beast and jump into the ooze, what is that, the cube, when it does more
Jumping
damage
into a
jump
gelatinous cube is
Like-
100% something that a D&D party would do. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And that is peak D&D. It's like making a worse decision because it sounded better at the moment. Like, peak D&D. All right, cool.
I'm sure they'll have trouble getting through a door at some point.
Yeah. Oh my god, if they don't, I'm gonna be extremely disappointed. Anyways, with that's pretty much all I have. It's going to be a pretty tight session today. Well, tight, it's never going to be truly tight session because, it is D&D and everything goes off the cuff, and when it happens, it happens. However, we find the heroes back in Mytros. I'll do a proper lead-in back again, but y'all, I'm excited. This group certainly is at the precipice of some big stuff when it comes to what's going to be happening in the future of Odyssey of the Dragonlords, and I am here. I'm super. I hope you guys are excited too. Like I have been like, this is what happens when a DM doesn't get to play. They just start overthinking all the cool things that could and should and whatever will be happening. And so I was just left to my own devices for the last month, just like imagining all of that. So I'm super excited.
Literally nothing's going on. It's super chill. We're all just having a great time.
Right.
I'm fine.
We're just on a staycation.
Yeah.
Fine.
We're on a Mytros staycation. We're just gonna hang out for a few days.
Already cool. With that, I think we're ready to properly dive in. Welcome back, everyone. As we're picking it back up, previously, what seems like 17 years ago, we had our adventures, defeat a chimera, meet the Oracle. Not the Oracle, but, wow. Now I'm actually, the Fates. Wow. See, that's how long it's been. I'm confusing the Fates and the Oracle. And you were able to kill the Lotus Witch and made your way back towards Mytros. Now, during that, Yanni had died and, mouthed off to Thylea, which piqued Yanni. As that happened, however, it seems that she has taken that a little bit personally and has since had a little bit of a, let's just say, curse headed out for the other members of the party. Specifically, Rhodas has not been able to catch the disease and is currently sitting at 4 levels of exhaustion. If you don't know anything about D&D 5th edition, I can tell you that is extremely bad. I think all of your checks are now at a disadvantage. You are moving at half speed. You pretty much feel like a newborn parent. But in any case, as you're picking it back up, you have arrived in Mytros. You walked up towards the palace and kind of just started falling within, the assigned beds that you have at the palace compound. Most importantly, though, as you guys are looking at what to do next, you know that the Oath of Peace is coming to an end. Nobody really knows what's going to be happening there. However, there have been signs. Most importantly, the Oath of Peace, as it would indicate, was signed between the gods and the Titans in order to forestall war. The war that had ravaged Thylea for centuries, also known as the First War. As that happened, the gods and Titans have been in some kind of a cold war forestalling for this moment that is now not too far away. With that, you guys find yourselves now in a position where it certainly could be bad news to face into this Oath of Peace, the end of which, where the Titans are truly unleashed to do whatever they might want to ravage and raze the settlements of the settler races that had flooded and flushed onto the shores of Thylea. You guys have been racing the clock in that. Have been spending your days sailing across the Cerulean Sea, trying to get the extra piece of the Antikythera, which now allows you to travel further and wider to more dangerous locations all throughout Thylea, which up until this point had been under the thrall and dominion of Sidon. One important location to you is going to be Hexia's lair. Hexia, the green dragon that is responsible for the death of Lotus's mother, taking her from
Allegedly.
when he was only a little. Just like magic, doesn't really exist. Now, also importantly, you guys have been trying to think of a outside-of-the-box solution to this problem. Sure, Sidon absolutely abhors the gods, but he certainly does feel like he should be the king of all, the god that rules over the land of Thylea, that he, in his eyes, rightfully inherited from Thylea, the goddess that gave her life to give birth to the island. Now, you guys have been trying to think of ways that you might be able to persuade Sidon to not only forgo attacking Mytros and Astoria and all the other places that the settler races are currently calling their own. You have been coming up with some ideas to try to get that done. And you have tried to think of something called maybe a peace summit to converse with the Titan to arrange this. A little hiccup in that, of course, is that Sidon is still married to his wife and, sister, who is, after all, still the Titan of dreams and death, laying within the Nether Sea, was headed out for Yanni and has caused much suffering for the rest of you. In that, you guys have decided that you are going to kill Thylea no matter what. So, the stake is not only to convince Sidon to not attack and destroy the settler races, but also let you kill Thylea without intervening. High stakes. You have arrived in Mytros. You have decided to spend some time here, wait for Vulcan to craft the sword that he had promised for Rhodas, including materials such as meteorite metal, which is going to be phenomenal, according to what it said. We're picking back up, however, as last time, Brissa had received a little box, a very long rectangular box. As she opened it and looked inside, she saw the lightning-scarred and embeveled spear that had been wielded by none other than Gaius, the former commander of Sidon's forces, whom you were able to kill, whose body, however, you had to leave behind, and whose spear arced off into the sky and just out of Brissa's grasp. There it lay before you, tantalizing. Just right. And as you reached out for it, Brissa, lightning suddenly arced up from it and onto you. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw, Brissa.
Oh boy. All right.
Gotta kick it off the right way, you know.
No, I fail.
Alrighty. With a total of 8, you, I think we had established that Rhodas had kind of gone pretty close to that. As you're kind of like already starting to pass out, Rhodas, suddenly you hear lightning discharge. As you run around the corner, you kind of see what's going on. Run is maybe a strong word. As you hobble around the corner, wiping away some of the dreariness from your eyes, there's nothing. No Brissa. You suddenly hear the claws of her golden drake rush across the marble floor. As Scylla looks around, trying to find Brissa, trying to find her master.
Is there even like a scorch mark or like any sign? Yeah.
Absolutely. As you look upon it, you can see smoke rising out of the box. The box itself has scorch marks and not quite fire, but kind of like a couple of smoldering spots in it. As you step closer, you can also see that there are 2 black marks on the floor, about her shoulders width wide, right in front of the box.
But no weapon.
Look in there. Nothing. Just an empty box.
I just shake my head at Scylla.
Mama?
What'll she get herself into now?
Where is Mama?
I mean, I'm probably not going to go back to bed or anything.
As a very tired now Insta-dad, you feel the weight of having children ask you hard questions suddenly come upon you.
This isn't a temporary wake-up thing anymore. This is no, I have to be awake for the rest of the day now. I will go and rouse Lyra and Yanni and bring them to the spot where
It's technically the middle of the day for the rest of them. Yanni, I think we had established, had already booked it off to the academy. Lyra, what are you doing at this point? Of course, you're somewhere around, the Silver Dragon. It's just presumed if there are dragons, Lyra is on them like flies. But what are you doing?
That's a good question.
Can you take this over? Because I need sleep.
Sounds like true parenthood right there.
It's like mid-afternoon.
But he has exhaustion.
You can see the bags under his eyes.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, just go back to bed. I'll handle it. What happened?
I'll just point to the general scorched area and say, she seemed to have received some kind of gift and then magically disappeared. Or vaporized.
And there's nothing in the box. There's not a note or
nothing. You look upon it, you can see that it kind of lay on a bed of straw or something like that, but you don't know what was inside of the box, right? You just see
it's just an empty box.
Mm-hmm. That has a little ash. It's very clear to Lyra that magic was discharged out of this, and your mind certainly immediately races towards a trap. Brissa must have triggered a trap when she opened it.
Is there a return address on the box?
As you flip the lid down, you see that there's an appropriate amount of stamps on it for the postage, but no, sadly,
does
there's
it
no
say
return.
fragile? This side up?
you look upon it. They didn't have listen. OSHA wasn't around yet. There were not a lot of regulations about these things.
This isn't an Acquisitions Incorporated campaign, you're saying?
Not yet, I guess.
I mean, if it was a trap, all there is a scorch mark. She's either dead again, but like real dead this time, or it took her somewhere, which would not be shocking. Quite a few of us have ended up in different places at certain moments in time. But I don't really have a way to figure out where. You go to bed. I'll just pat Rotus on the shoulder. You go back to sleep, and I'll figure it out.
Brodus will do as he's been told.
And Thylea just like worriedly sniffs around as she kind of, her little claws scratch across that. Mama. And she kind of just like, it's like if you've ever seen an extremely anxious dog looking for their owner, that's kind of what it's starting to feel like as she kind of goes around desperately trying to figure this out. And you can see her sniff at different spots and doesn't seem to be able to pick up anything.
Where was Yanni?
At the academy.
At the academy?
Unless you want to take backsies on that, Yanni, I'm okay with that.
Oh, no, that.
No,
Honestly,
I mean,
that's
it
okay.
makes sense.
If that's what you say I'm doing, I believe you because I don't remember.
I mean, it checks out. That 100%. I have no doubts that that's where Yanni would go.
But yeah, it totally tracks.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go. I mean, I don't have a way to even like try and track if there's magic or anything. So,
make me an Arcana check or History, your choice.
I don't think I'm good at either of those. Oh, I'm okay at history actually. 18.
As you look upon this, with a history check, you certainly have heard about, traps like this immediately incinerating individuals. However, what is odd about this situation is that there's no remains. There's nothing. Even things like a forceful spell that is able to disintegrate an individual upon touching usually leaves some type of residue, some fine dust or something. This utter destruction of the body is something that, in the stories that you've read, has never happened. So it's interesting to you that there is nothing left, and almost to the point where you're like, this is maybe something else. Kind of rack your brain. And as you consider that, you have heard of a concept called a port key before. An item that, once you touch it, triggers an arcane discharge. Most often in the form of a teleportation. Usually as a form of a trap as well.
Would it be safe to assume that, based on all of the fights that we've been in recently, that it would be obviously an electrical discharge scorch mark on the ground of some sort?
Absolutely.
Then I instantly think it's something Sidon did. Because we killed Gaius, it wouldn't be Gaius. So I guess I'll head towards Alice, because she's the main person I go to with all my problems when we're in Mytros.
All right. As you go run off to have a god solve your problems for you, we switch over to Brissa. Your hand touches the spear. Lightning arcs forward, and immediately in that moment you're just like, fuck. It's just immediately in your mind, God's damn it. And as the light flashes and blinds your eyes, You blink away as you can feel solid ground below your feet still. You blink away further and further, and you're in a long, mostly empty hall. There are massive 20-foot wide braziers that seem to be set up along the sides of this huge, probably about 60-foot wide hall. You can see it actually open up to what seems to be this empty space. The night sky, you can see constellations, clouds, but you understand that this is magic. This is not actually the ceiling not existing. It's just that it's superimposed. Illusions dancing across to give a view of the night sky above. And as you look forward, at the end of this hall, you see a huge throne. Not just so large that maybe a Gigan could sit in it, but indeed so large that it would take even a dragon to truly fill this thing out. A massive back that rises upward. You can see stylized bolts of lightning seemingly coming out of it, fanning upwards. You look down and you look around. There's nothing upon the throne. There's no one in this hall. Black marble extending outward, reflecting the burning blue light from these. Just you.
Do I still have the spear?
You look down, and indeed, you are holding the spear.
Can I like set it on the ground and then touch it again, like in the way I did last time?
Like, turn it off and turn it on again. Turn it off and turn it on again. You like beep, boop, boop, boop. You try to get the electrical discharge. It's like the anti what you're supposed to do when you build a computer. You try to do that, and try as you might, it fails. You boop it and boop it and boop it all over again, but nada.
I guess we'll just like start walking around and try to see if I like, I mean, might go like look at the throne, I guess, and see if there's anything like near there, or like see if there's like I don't know, anything similar that might be indicative of an exit.
As you step through, your footsteps echo through the halls here, ominously. Step further and further, and you kind of think to yourself, what is this place? You have guesses running through your head. I can see it on Alex's face. What is Brissa thinking? What's going through her mind? What do you think she's thinking right now?
She's really thinking that she probably shouldn't just touch random objects like that. But it was a really awesome spear, and like it was like on her bed, so like as a gift, right? Like I mean, so they had to get into the palace, so it had to be someone in the palace to like drop it off. So obviously it was a gift. So now she's like wondering who in the palace is working for Sidon, but then she's thinking about like, okay, there's probably a lot of people in the palace working for Sidon, so that doesn't actually, play into anything. But so now she's just, tried to figure out, a way to get out of here alive because she's, pretty sure that, that at least she's thinking that this is like Sidon's, house. So, like but at the same time, right? I mean, how often do you really sit in your throne room? So she's not like too worried immediately because it's not like there's like a congregation of people in here. I guess.
As you step forward, kind of lost in thoughts for a second, out, you finally come before this throne. You can see that it seems to be cut and somehow impossibly so made out of a huge piece of sapphire infused and beautiful adamantine platinum. See all of it almost look like a wave that crashes upward and fans to the side to build the armrests. Look upon it and you can indeed see the lightning bolt on a red field circle into the back of it. The red field itself seems to be some kind of red gemstone. Your mind races to possibilities. Maybe a ruby? It's impossibly large. And then suddenly behind you hear a this was too easy. Kind of quickly turn around and look back. There you see a towering figure, massive in size, this giant steps towards you. You see beautiful carved features, dark hair. You see Brian step towards you, just lifelike size. It's period. But as this individual steps forward towards you, you can see power seems to be just surrounding him. And much like Sidon, as you've seen him in the underwater grotto when you saw him that time you fought those Jewel, you see that third eye stylized almost like a tattoo upon the forehead of this individual. He seems to kind of step around, kind of get a hold of you, considering you. Definitely appreciating pulling his beard as he walks from side to side. What do you say or do?
Oh, it's so crazy. Like we were actually just about to send you a message, and yeah, I guess we could just like do it in person, right? That's like it just makes it so much easier. It's always better to send a message in person. So we kind of like wanted to have like kind of like a little meeting, and kind of just like talk a few things over, within the next few
He just
days.
puts up his giant hand as he kind of looks at you for a second. Is like, slow down. What are you?
Well, we're just gonna try and come to some terms, right? So like for peace, like so we can avoid the whole war thing. No one, and, like Astray is gonna be there, right? So there's gonna be, we just really want to like sit down and talk and see how we can, move our way forward together, without a bunch of bloodshed. And we're really sorry about the whole killing Gaius thing.
Are you? Are you?
Ooh!
Are you saying that you were going to reach out to my father with a proposal of yet another oath of peace?
Wait, this isn't Tidon that I'm talking to?
And with that, you realize, no. Sidon, when you saw him, looks a lot like this individual. You see the stylized tattoo that looks like, the same thing that Sidon has. But this is a young, handsome, a little bit smaller than even what you had seen of Sidon individual. This must be one of the children that Chandras had spoken.
I just need to point to your beard.
Yeah, and he had grays. This guy's hot. This guy's definitely not Sidon.
Oh my god, good thing that Lyra didn't get ported. Oh my god.
Chris was just like, okay, yeah, like your Sidon, So yeah, but just be like, oh yeah, yep, exactly. Going to talk to your father about it. It's a, yeah, like, see you around, I guess, or because you know what, that doesn't matter. I'll just head out. Which way is the exit? Is there?
I brought you here because I wanted to kill you myself. I wanted my father to have your heads on a pike as we destroyed Mytros. This. I did not see this coming. Please, with you, wretched mortals, what would you have to offer? Please. What leverage do you have? Do you think you have? I need to hear this before.
I mean, it's not, and like we had a lot of arguments built up, and like I'm not the best person for some of these notes, but I mean, like overall, I think we've accomplished a lot, right? I mean, we killed Gaius just like recently, and that was a pretty huge accomplishment, right? And then so yeah, we have the whole destiny on our side thing, right? And so overall, right, we really just want to like get rid of Lutheria, and kind of make our way forward with like think
As
about
you
that
say,
side
get rid of Lutheria, you don't even have to make an insight check. You see Titan's face becoming incredibly tight with anger. He starts to grind his teeth. He kind of rolls his back, rolls his shoulders. You would dare threaten my mother? Start stepping closer.
It's gonna like start going around the side of the throat, I guess.
Alrighty. as you kind of like start to kind of move around, you see him suddenly pull back as you see a lightning bolt just seemingly kind of form, which he's going to try to throw at you. What would you like to do in response?
Man, this guy's huge, isn't he?
Yeah,
Could
he's
I like?
not insignificantly sized?
Yeah, I mean, could I like duck behind the throne to avoid this lightning bolt? You know, I guess if I have to fight him, I want to do it at close quarters, but I don't really want to fight this guy solo.
All right, we're gonna make this a little bit more cinematic. So he takes this lightning bolt and starts to throw it at you, as you just mentioned, killing his mother. What do you want to do in response?
Yeah, I will try to dive like behind the throne, out of the way.
Okay,
for
go ahead
cover.
and make me an acrobatics check as you're trying to like dive out of the way for that.
You're not like athletics, like running really fast.
Sure, why not? Go for it.
All right.
A
Plus
real
11.
strong. Oh my god.
I have
And
a
what's
plus
your
11.
AC?
My AC is 19.
Okay, as you're just like kind of you do that like a little bit of like that Assassin's Creed kind of sliding across the ground, catch the edge as you try to swing around. Almost in like less than a millisecond later, the lightning just hits the marble and the side of the throne, destroying it upwards, kind of showering the side. Come back here! And as he kind of starts stalking around, you're like, oh shit, shit, shit! You realize you don't have any weapons. The only thing that you could use for that is probably that lightning spear that is not an insignificant amount of paces away from the throne at this point.
Oh no, I would have brought it with me because I would just like been trying to pick it up, and then I would have taken the spear with me 100%.
For that one, roll me a d100. Let's determine a luck roll. So 51 and better, you have the spear. 50 and lower, you do not.
I don't have the
In
spear.
your boopiness, you definitely did forget to pick it back up. And as the individual kind of walked back, you're just like, "Hey, what's up, Sidon? What's up, Daddy? Oh shit, no, that is your daddy. Got it. Shit." And you kind of started backing up towards the throne. As you now have this angry Titan kind of like kind of run around, you kind of start this dog chase around the throne. Go to make me a perception check.
All right. Oh, 40, that's not bad.
You wildly look around for anything. The only thing that really stands out to Brissa is one of these massive braziers. As you kind of start running towards it to like use it as a leverage, suddenly there's just a thundering enough. The ceiling itself suddenly seems to push together. You see massive clouds rolling in and lightning hitting multiple spots, both around you and this young Titan. And as you kind of like come from what is probably a fetal position for her at this point, having come through what seems to now be a double set of huge bronzen doors that seems to kind of shimmer, shift, and then disappear behind him, you see a towering, massive figure, dwarfing even the sun. And as the Lord of Storms steps forward, he just shoots an angry glare towards his son. And as he does, you see his son kind of cast his eyes back, start to back up. Sidon steps forward. No weapon in hand, just puts his two hands behind his back. And just with pure judgment and loathing, looks down upon you, Vigor. What is this about, Thylea?
Father, I have brought you one of the light. You can now defeat her, crack her spine, use her head on a pike to show the forces. So when we hold your tongue.
See, Thylea kind of like cast his eyes down.
You would give the enemy information. You would give away our plan to her. She has no way of escaping. Shut up. Leave. But father, I wanted to.
You just see lightning starting to gather in the eyes. You see some of the gray hair kind of starting to around. Thylea just casts his head down again. But make me an insight check, Brissa.
Man, where's someone else for all these checks? I need a Straya. Here's with me. Yeah, I
Oh,
got 0. I got a 0. I'm Bristol's just like looking towards the spear, being like, I need to get there. Like, I just need to slowly start inching away towards this,
All right.
exit or the spear.
Like almost army crawling to get towards the spear as Talios kind of shoots you an angry look that Brissa doesn't even notice. As he walks out of the place, again, touching the wall, it seems to turn back into the bronze doors, closing behind, again, like melding into the wall itself. As you kind of like start inching towards it, you look up and you realize that the spear's maybe some 10 feet away from you. But Sidon has stepped forward as well. He opens his hands, and the tiny spear, it looks like a toothpick for him, starts to kind of float up, and you see electricity kind of touch from his palm to this little spear as it starts to rotate there. You kind of just look up. He says, "You killed my general."
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he, he killed a friend of ours, right? And I mean, have you seen? Did you? Yeah, I did. We were sorry. We did kill him. When I know, I guess we're not really sorry, but we did kill him. Yes.
Just not. Still, this entire time he was listening to you, he was really just considering the spear as it rotates in his hand. Well done. I thought the people who support Mytros were weak, but they're not. I am not so self-aggrandizing as to believe that my enemy is not a formidable foe. Thank you for reiterating that point. I will ensure that proper precautions will be taken to truly crush any that oppose my rule henceforth. My question to you is, Brissa, why support them? Why obsess about their lizard beasts? You are a child of my mother. We created you, your family, your blood. You would turn on us. But
Well,
Silas still
you know,
desperately looking around it.
I guess the first point is that dragons are just awesome, right? I mean, they look really cool. They're awesome, and they're just they're awesome. The betraying thing, right, is like I don't really have an issue with you, right? But I think it's more on like the whole premise of like your wife, like wanting sacrifices of children and like killing a lot of people, right? I understand sacrifices, like I understand, sacrificing like a bull here and an ox here and like things like that, or but sacrificing people and children and stuff, right? I think that is where, a line that, where the five, doesn't cross, but like I don't think you cross it too, but your wife has crossed it several times.
Make me an insight check, Brissa.
Oh
is he
god.
not there?
Oh, she
14 there. I was gonna.
fast.
Yeah, it's not bad.
As you consider this, and you look upon Sidon trying to read this Titan, this you're in the presence of a god. I mean, there must be a million things that are going through Brissa's head, and we'll get that in a second. But as you're kind of there, kind of in almost like a crouching position up against Sidon, he does nothing to truly hide his emotions. You can tell that he must be a very passionate god. There's no need to truly hide your feelings when there's no need to protect yourself from it. Who would judge you? Who has the right? Who has the power to be on par with a god? And so, as you look upon that face, and you mention the sacrifice of children, you can see a pang of pain, of distaste, of shame, cross this god's face. It looks down upon the spear, and at this point you see it has started to glow hot red. It seems like the lightning that is being poured into it is just starting to melt and smelt at it as it's just kind of flying around like this little rod of heat.
So you do not worship my wife, but you are respectful of your true god.
Yes, I mean, my family worshipped you. So like like I said, like I don't really have an issue with you. I mean, I wish you wouldn't have starved that one city. Until he's facing the name, but I understand that they weren't sacrificing to you, right? So like sacrifices do have to be paid, right? But again, it's just the whole, going above and beyond type thing. But I do respect that you were one of the original gods. Yes.
You are being called the new Lord of Dragons, usher in a new age. Tell me, nymph, how would you have brought Astoria to kneel?
I mean, I think there's definitely better ways to earn the respect of people, right? I mean, you don't have to starve them, right, to earn respect. You can earn respect by helping them, right? I feel like a helping hand, right, goes a lot further than hurting them, right? So if they need crops, right, you help them, bloom some crops. They need rain, you make it so that you make it rain. I think you just have to, you kind of have to make it known that you're the one doing it, right? And then, they respect you a little bit more, and then those sacrifices go to you, and then, like there's less sacrifices like to the five and everything. I think it's really just instead of, it's kind of like a mutual respect type thing, right? You respect the people and, their abilities to survive and everything, and then they respect you in turn and give you sacrifices, which makes you happy in the long run. So, yeah.
Respect those who spit on history.
I mean, I understand that our history is bloody, and it is, it's yes, it's bloody, but I think you also have to come to a point of forgiveness, right? And you have to move past the sins of the past. If you hold on to all of the sins and all of the misdeeds that happened previously, it's just going to be a cycle of violence and bloodshed, and that is what we want to stop, is to end that cycle.
So, you aim for true peace. What am I supposed to tell the last Gigans, whose not just families but people were butchered by the invader? What am I supposed to tell those protected and must be connected to them, who were cut down and turned into things of artifice for these invaders? What am I supposed to tell them, Brissa Dragonlord? They ask. Vengeance.
I think in the end, vengeance won't solve anything, but create more problems, right? They go and get vengeance, right? And then, those people's children go and get vengeance, right? And then again, you're just, perpetuating the cycle, right? I think you have to give into forgiveness, and you have to help them rebuild, right? If they're the last of the Gigans, right? Like, give them an island. I mean, there's plenty of islands. We've been sailing around them, and like help them create a city. And then maybe people from Mytros contribute to the city, like help them rebuild their city, rebuild their population, without the like no like slave labor, but like give like resources, right, and things like that. Again, have to.
What am I
It's
supposed to do with the memory of Estor, the butcher?
I mean, he is in hell, right? So it's perfectly fine towards torturing him forever, and like you could just, I don't know if you could like put on like a little show and like have him shown torture, but yeah, so like, I completely agree with that one. He definitely deserves to be, in there and
Make
be
me.
tormented.
This is your choice. Like it. Perception or an insight check.
I mean, yeah, they're both -1, so it doesn't matter either way. Look at the roll, 14 again.
Hey. Again, this is a god, so he doesn't care whether you read his face or not. And what you catch there for a second is surprise. Specifically surprise at the mention that Estor is now in hell. Technically, your character would have said something like, the Nether Sea. But as you said that, it's apparent to you that that was information that was surprising to him for one reason or another. As if he didn't know that Estor's soul had traveled there recently, or, and this is more important, that he hadn't known that he wasn't already there. It is clear everyone knew that Estor had died, and you were able to confirm that by the fact that you found his ghost still haunting the Ultros. But it appears that maybe he didn't know where this ghost, the soul of Estor, had lingered for so long.
I guess presumably, like, well, it's like on that note, right? We actually, found Estor's spirit on the Ultros, and he did try to possess us, and so then we, kind of like killed the spirit. That was kind of crazy. I didn't know you could actually kill spirits, and we sent him back down into the Nether Sea. I think it was Rhodus that cut him down. It was pretty epic.
At this point, the spear has completely melted towards slag, and it's just a red sphere. Lightning still being there. As he kind of holds it there, almost like a fidget spinner, like a god-sized version of trying to keep your fingers busy. He kind of keeps it there, menacingly spinning about.
What my son did today was disgraceful. If you are to be defeated, it will not be through subterfuge, trickery. You will be bested upon the battlefield. You will be crushed. But you seem to hold the respect I deserve. You seem to not have forgotten your old ways. I will send you back to your pathetic city. Carry out a message that they shall prepare themselves.
Well, we actually wanted to like meet in a few days. Actually, we were about to send you a message.
Kind of squints at you, kind of cocks his head to the side. You see a godly eyebrow kind of cock up in surprise.
And so I was telling your son, and he was laughing at it. But we wanted to kind of meet and sit down and kind of talk a way forward, peacefully, and kind of see what we can do, and obviously in a neutral territory, right? And violence free. And then Estrella is going to be there, so you can see her as well.
You see him kind of look down, and you can see the wheels starting to turn. This man certainly, if he was immortal, you could see the intelligence, the calculations being made as you say this.
The others. Of what mind are the rest of these so-called prophesied heroes? Do they hold the same level of respect that you do?
I mean, Estrella definitely respects you. I can't, say the same for everyone. But I think everyone does want peace, right? I think that's, that's the overarching, goal, right? the respect portion, right? Like Rhodus, right? You basically starved his city, right? So, he holds a little animosity, but I think in the end, he's going to he would be fine with peace.
Rhodus, in your sleep, you just feel the hairs on the back of your head kind of just raise up a little bit. It's bullshit. Dude, keep snoring away. With that, Sidon lets go. The electricity seems to kind of recede immediately back into his hand, and the slag of hot metal falls down before it touches the ground. And as he's turning, he other hand like waves like a absent-minded flick, and you can feel the air suddenly become super cold, instantly cooled down to a temperature around that in a perfectly round sphere. Bounces, cracks the marble as it does, and starts to roll towards you. As the sphere comes to rest before your feet, you can see that across it, symbols that certainly depict Sidon as a god ruling on what you recognize to be Mount Vulcan, the mountain on the north side of Mytros rising over the rest of the city. His glaive in hands, a lightning bolt in the other, lording over the rest of the city. Suddenly you can see the engravings of the city themselves start to get filled in with gold and silver, platinum. Filled in to actually be a beautiful embossing. He turns back over his shoulder towards you. I request that your entire group be at the meeting. I further challenge you, Brissa, to make good on your supposition that the people of Mytros care about anything but themselves. I am going to bring them to heel one way or another, but I am curious, and I am not of the mind, my dear wife. I shall give Mytros one more chance.
I
Take this.
appreciate you.
Take this. And he kind of looks down towards this metal sphere. Which honestly, after like having a spear melted down, isn't all that big. It's about the size of your head now. You say you want to bring a blessing of Sidon to the city. This will do it. Place it upon the left palm of the statue in my temple. Tell the people that until the day of our meeting, they are to bring any and all offering that they are willing to give as reparation for the terrors that the Gigans suffered. And I will judge them. If I find the offering wanting, it just that's that until the end. Yet, if the offer that Mytros gives to the Gigans and their plight moves me, I will bless the city. Will give their farms and vineyards perfect sunshine and ideal till the end of the Ottomans. The same is true for Astoria. With that, he waves his hand again, and impossibly you see the metal suddenly seem to bubble and pull apart as suddenly it splits into two.
Further, I want both cities to hold a remembrance festival. On the morning and through the day of the meeting, we shall meet at sunset. I want this festival to commemorate the butcher that Estor was. To commemorate that he committed genocide against my people. I want the people to spit at his name, to burn effigies of the butcher, to burn the pages and books that glorify what he did. This challenge you with, Marissa. I will be frank with you. I do not believe you are capable of doing this. I do not believe that the people of Mytros, Estoria, or Arisia for that matter, care about your people, about our people. They have come here like locusts to tear out of the crust of my mother the valuable riches that they can. They will gorge themselves for millennia until her body can give no more, and then they will move on. I worry about the future of Thylea. They worry merely about power. Choose wisely, Dragonlords, Brissa.
And with that, you see him kind of like open his hand once more. As lightning expels from the extended fingertips into the two balls of metal.
Touch them both, and you will be able to leave once more. Doral, and I will smite you myself.
Oh, it was super nice meeting you then.
He turns around and starts walking away from it.
Yeah, Brissa just touches it right away. She wants out of there. Did not think I was going to make that one.
You touch the two metal balls. Same kind of electricity arcs forward. Lyra, what have you been doing to try to find Brissa? Oh yeah, you ran over to Valis. That's right. That is right. As you just run down the hallway, you go back into the throne room where you do see Valis listening to the plights of the many people of Mytros. Do you wait your turn? Or do you cut in front of the line, as the Light of Thylea is so very much wont to do?
How many other people are there in line?
Like a good 50 or so.
I think we've done enough to get some recognition. So I'll walk in and just kind of really loudly just clear my throat, like to try and get everyone's attention.
Indeed, everybody else, kind of hears. At first, it's just a couple of people who are kind of annoyed. It's like, who the fuck do you think? Who are you talking? Like, start to kind of whisper to each other as they kind of like, are excited to see a member of the Light of Thylea actually walk into their midst. And of course, that gives you a little bit of an ego boost. There's a little, it's finally it's ballooning a little bit. People are kind of like excited. They kind of want to shake your hand, start talking to you just excitedly about what have you been up to lately? What are we going to do about the end of the Oath of Peace? Blah, blah, blah. However, you look over, and at the end of the line, where the throne sits, you see Valis just cross her arms, cross her legs, and just impatiently bob her leg up and down, with an eyebrow cast upwards and just kind of looking at you with an emoji.
Yeah, I'll shake some hands, kiss some babies, and then just kind of start nudging people out of the way, making my way towards the front.
You see the Amazons kind of shift uneasily, looking towards Valis, who looks supremely annoyed. As she goes, I heard that you have come back. Welcome back to the city. You know, you can't always do this, right? Oh, it's fine, your queen. She can go in front of me. Wells just kind of puts up holds her nose bridge and kind of puts up her hand and is like, please don't reinforce this. You're going to teach her bad habits. I'm trying to teach them before it's too late. You're a father, yes? Yes.
It's desperate times. We're on the clock.
What is it, Lyra?
A couple things. Okay. So we killed Gaius. Don't know if you'd heard yet.
Well done.
Sure, word spreads fast, which brings another note that we need to talk about, but we'll leave that for later. First priority is Brissa's gone, and there was a scorch mark, and it was really
She kind of puts up her finger.
like,
She gets up off of her throne and she kind of grabs your shoulder. You guys both immediately, it's like the Flash suddenly gave both of you the power. Just run incredibly fast. She actually just kind of picks you up and cradles you as you walk, run, just lightning through the corridors and come to the side as she holds you there.
oh god, I'm gonna throw up. Oh, I'm gonna throw up.
Kind of seems to start inspecting. This is not supposed to happen. How did he? This is impossible.
Right, it's obviously Sidon, right? I mean, that's clearly electrical scorch mark, right?
Kind of goes down on her haunches and kind of starts to look at it, kind of inspecting it. Looks at the box. It certainly feels similar to his power, but it is not him. No. This is trickery. What is this?
That just sounds like him, honestly, if we're being honest.
Kind of looks over her shoulder towards you. Looks at the box. I will inquire. Stay here. And she just runs out of the room. It kind of sounds like a thunder snap.
I have.
Alrighty, with that, as Lyra, you're just kind of like, I had more to say to you. Yanni, you walk upon the academy and you see the, beautiful campus sprawling out where you see the massive building that is the academy library. And as you walk in, you're greeted by many of the people there, and indeed, many of the acolytes just start swarming you immediately, asking you about.
So, is it true you were able to come up with incredibly advanced formulae in an extremely short amount of time? What's the most complex formula you have developed so far?
It's called a Fibonacci sequence. I'll write it down for you later.
What is a Fibonacci? What is a Fibonacci? And they start kind of like talking to each other.
I'll start you off. 1, 1, 2, 3. Go from there.
1, 2. I think he's talking about gnocchi. Very good noodles.
As people are kind of talking.
Now I'm hungry. Damn it.
Talking to each other. You do see, the lore master of the academy approach you. You see kind of like this, middle-aged man. Yeah, a little pudgy in a couple different places. Definitely balding on top, kind of approaches and goes,
So you've returned, I see.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
what words do you bring from abroad?
So for business, there is a massive, probably pretty old library in the hands of Sidon's forces on, can't remember the name of the island. Tell me it's in
Yonder.
Yonder. On Yonder. Way over yonder.
I have heard of the island of Yonder, yes, but
We
thought that the entire place was raised.
Well, apparently there was some damage done for sure, but there's it looks like, from what I can tell, the library is still at least mostly intact. I was not able to get inside, but we need to start making plans now for as soon as we put an end to all this chicanery that's going on, to send an expedition to get all the goodies.
Absolutely, yes. I'm going to speak with certain investors. It's going. If what you say is true, I have no reason to doubt you. This could mean... Yanni, many scholars have hypothesized that the Daigans towards the end of the war, or Esther, destroyed the last large city, had accumulated their knowledge to attempt to find some kind of magical way to annihilate the position. Some hypothesized that they were concocting a plague that was given to them by Lutherian, trying to perfect it, to only kill those of our descent. Others thought that they had developed a way to funnel unadulterated ether directly into reality, changing bodies at will and ripping them apart, turning them into diamonds and dust, from fire to ice. We were never able to fully determine whether it was true, so it became myth, legend. Ultimately, it was forgotten. Read about this in some books. Sidon and his forces indeed have access to this library. Fear to think what they could accomplish with it.
Kind of where I'm at with it too.
Must speak to the king about this too. Certainly need to know. Say, you have his ear too, yes?
Sorta, kinda. I'm not the closest with him out of the bunch, but yeah, he'll usually talk to us.
Why don't I worry about investors who are going to be willing to fund this expedition for a stake? Why don't you speak to the king to see what troops he may be willing to expend, though? I don't know if you've heard, but we're preparing for an assault. Many believe that Mytros will be the first target of Sidon's forces when it ends. That is the case, we must be prepared.
Yeah, I have heard, and I can all but verify. That is true.
In that case, right, why don't you come with me?
And he kind of walks you back towards the desk in his office and gives you plenty of parchment to describe in as much detail what you know about it, what you remember from it, where it's located, and is there anything else that you include in that description to entice investors or anything like that, to kind of like really amp up the value of that, or do you leave out certain things on purpose?
I'm going to spell it out. I can't think of anything I would want to leave out, but I'm going to spell it out as like, lost Geigen ruins, some well enough preserved that there could be, valuable items other than books and knowledge surviving, things like that. Definitely spell all that out. I might leave out that it's been like the headquarters of the army for who knows how long. Just that it's under their control.
Brissa, did you, by the way, mention anything about your friends in the prison cells to the rest of the group on the way back?
Yeah. We would have got them if possible, I guess.
Do you include anything about this weird traveler that Brissa mentioned, blabbering something about elemental flying ship engines?
No, I don't, because crazy people babbling things in prison cells is not gonna entice. Okay, here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say there are rumors of these elemental flying ship engine things. I'm not going to give their origin.
All right. As you spend, a good amount of time just transcribing that, and, Archimedes has certainly multiple follow-up questions and kind of like some suggestions as far as grammar goes. Now, Yanni is good with like the formulas, the math of the spells, but oftentimes the grammar, it's hilarious. Like for how smart you are, your writing is just not that great. But, you have Archimedes to kind of fluff it up. It's kind of like if a blue-collar worker kind of comes in and is like, all right, so what we need is pretty straightforward. We got to, and then you have like a white-collar lawyer kind of going and is like, oh, let's fluff up this language. And it's like, you roll your eyes, but you understand that certain language has to be said so that people respond. Lyra, as you are left behind, you suddenly see Rhodas jolt awake one more time as there's another lightning flash and thunderbolt. Brissa suddenly reappears with 2 metal balls in their hand.
Big breast ones.
Well, great. Now what am I supposed to tell Valis?
Hey, how's it going? What are you doing? Just sitting here, waiting for me?
You hear a as Valis runs back into the room. Where did you just come from? What is that?
Oh, I got it.
Drop
totally
it. Take it out of your hand right now.
But I'm already touching them. But
Brissa, stop touching the balls. Put them down.
On the bed.
Kind of lower them to the ground. She kind of looks at them as she takes one of the spears that was like in your pack area, and she kind of like pokes at them and kind of rolls them away from you.
Those are supposed to be blessings from Sidon. I was gonna have Yanni like inspect it and make sure it's not a trap, because they sent me Gaius a spear, and I picked it up, right? I mean, it was an awesome spear, and I picked it up, and then I got teleported.
Why wouldn't
exactly, right? Like, awesome weapon, and then I got teleported to Sidon's like palace, I guess, right? But it was actually his son that did it, and then and I thought it was him, but his son tried to kill me, but I dodged out of the way.
That my luck, I should have known.
But then after that, like Sidon appeared, gave him a good old like backslap, and was like no, and then we talked a little bit, and like he was, I told him that he's totally asking.
You know which son it was?
The one with the painted on eyeball and black hair, really pointy beard.
I'll give you DM inspiration right now if you remember the name.
What if I remember the name?
What if I have the name in my notes?
I know, I've got it right here.
What if it's in my notes? What if we've heard the name before?
Chris is it's gonna be like black pointy beard, painted on eyeball.
What if it's not the first time someone's mentioned his name before?
Brissa, Alex, you don't remember the name, clearly, because taking notes in the middle of RP is very difficult. I'm not going to fault you for that. You guys help him out. What was the name of the son of Sidon?
Alieus.
And that's Talieus. Now,
we heard his name already from the Lotus Witch.
yes, and Lyra, as you hear Brissa say Taliaeus, Valis kind of just nods to herself and starts thinking as she kind of starts pacing. Lyra, there's something interesting to you. Again, the Sphinx talked about someone creating a race. Do you remember the name
whole
of the race?
The Mermix.
Mermikis.
I have it written down. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It was the question that I got wrong because it was the only one I didn't know the answer to.
Lyra, make me a history or investigation check.
Okay. Oh my god.
Nice.
I'm so smart today.
You think about it, and you certainly have not heard of anyone creating any races, at least for the last 5 centuries. At least.
Especially races that I don't even know what they are.
Exactly. Like this is interesting. Like this race must have been created and then fallen out of history, literally just becoming not part of it anymore long enough ago that it makes you wonder how young the sun is. You're not quite sure. But there seems to be something off about this timeline.
Like he's been around too long?
Like, it doesn't make sense if he's the son of Sidon. I mean, you're also unsure how much gods age over the years.
Right. Well, I mean, we know Versi, and she still looks not young.
That's because
I
fucking
would,
Nims fucking 1,000 years.
Yeah,
Can't even throw
right, yeah.
fucking sphinx at your players. Got fucking right.
Yeah, I'll just mention that what we knew about him from the Lotus Witch, but
Valos kind of just.
that's
looks
pretty
towards
much
you.
all we really know, unless you know more about him. To be honest, I didn't even know he existed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he kind of like idolized his father a little bit. I mean, like he even painted like a third eyeball on him, like so. Probably some like hardcore daddy issues going on there.
Bit obsessive, 100%. Some baggage to unpack there.
Yeah, definitely.
Valos interjects and says, "There are two different Thyleuses. There is Thylleus, one that you seem to have been asked about by Lotus Witch, who was a brother, Sidon. And there is the son, whom Sidon named after just now.
Does that make him a junior still? I don't know how family trees work.
In that case, it's not.
I mean, it's already the mom, aunt, dad, husband, brother. Ow.
Alright, from now on, please stop touching anything, or for that matter, bringing anything, and she points towards the metal balls, that Sidon has touched or any of his spawn have created into the city. Please? I'm trying to protect Mytros, and I cannot do that if you keep trying to undermine this.
I mean, I didn't bring the spear in. The spear was on my bed, like it was already there. And just like Rhoda said, if there's an awesome-looking spear on your bed, you're going to totally touch it.
Okay, just
Obviously.
from now on, please just don't do that. First instinct, don't touch. Confirm what it is. Then maybe ask me. Then, if I said yes, you can touch. Okay?
I'm gonna have Yanni like inspect these balls though, and tell us what they are.
When he gets back.
That's his specialty.
It's really
He's
good.
right there. at
Rhodas
eye
kind of wakes
level.
up at the mention of balls.
He's got perfect view.
I hate myself getting out of this.
Regards the body, you know? Alright. As Valis just kind of looks at them, and kind of starts to approach them, she takes the spear. I'm gonna borrow these, and it kind of starts rolling balls out of them.
Wait, don't I need those? So follow Valis.
Yeah, I'll follow her too because I still need
She
to
kind of
talk
looks
to
at
her.
both of you guys. She kind of flicks the spear over, almost like a what is that called? Like a ground hockey. What do you Americans call that? Field hockey.
Lacrosse? Oh, field
Like a
hockey.
field
Yeah,
hockey
that makes
stick.
sense.
And she does the same thing again, where she just moves supersonic, and just seems to disappear with the balls.
What?
She just stole my the balls. Like I don't.
Put him right in her purse and walked away.
I know, right?
Ugh.
Oh,
It's like
no.
Grand Theft balls. You know, just.
Surely there's some sort of curse about that.
Oh,
Surely.
There has to be.
There's an implied oath.
no.
It falls under the grave robber curse, except it's just stealing balls. I mean, she's gonna be real upset when we tell her that we're planning on bringing Sidon to actually like talk to her. If she's all like, "Oh, Sidon's balls can't be here," she's probably gonna be real upset that Sidon is gonna be in here.
I mean, he's
Not
not
here.
Yeah,
But, in the area, the same breathing air.
no, that's perfectly fair. It's I don't know how to break that one to her, but those balls, and I'll fill Lyra in on what the balls do, and everything that transpired.
Alrighty. At the end of that description, Yanni, what's your goal at the academy other than what just happened with Archimedes?
What would my goal have been when I said I was going off to the academy a month ago?
Right?
I think you wanted spells, if I remember.
Probably.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
always on the hunt for spells. I guess, now that there's some money floating around, I guess I would ask if they had them for sale.
Yeah, I mean, what are you looking? We can do that during the break too if you want to have like a
Yeah, we can.
specific whatever.
I didn't have a list prepared, so
Did
we
you
can,
want
we
to
can talk about that later.
attempt to work at the academy again?
Sure.
Okay. If you end up spending the rest of the afternoon and evening there, you're essentially invited to come into a couple different classes and talk about the Fibonacci sequence and about different mathematical formulae and why certain kind of geometric forms while casting are superior. What is it about the dodecahedron that just feels really average, but at the same time, once you have really the polyhedral approach, that is the best approach. There's something about those polyhedra that are just so ideal, just creme de la creme when it comes to anything magic related.
Pretty great.
Fantastic.
Sounds nerdy to me.
Fantastic. Incredibly nerdy. It's like the nerdiest, but it's so good. But as part of that, we're going to say this is going to be oratory focused, but Arcana related. So why don't you make me an Arcana check based on charisma for this one?
But I'm so much better at them when they're based on intelligence. All right, hang on a second.
And of course, Texas Toast. Of course, that is a shameless plug. Are you kidding me?
Let's see.
By the way, we have lots of open games. We've got new games starting up. Of course, that's going to include some Spelljammer games. I might even be starting one up. We'll see.
Whoa.
Shh. We'll talk about it later.
David, remind me, how do you change the?
I had a mod for that once upon a
Was that a
time,
mod?
not long
Okay.
ago. But I think what you can do.
And I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna add a -4 for this one. And
Okay.
that'll be this.
We'll just roll an add 20 anyway.
That should be +4.
So your charisma is just a flat
okay.
0, right? No, it's a
No,
plus
it's a
1.
one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It should. I tried to add a -.
So it
four
is.
in the-
It's a
when it
12.
didn't work.
All right. So as you kind of get up for the
13.
first time and you try to explain, what happens is that you catch the attention of the teachers, and the teachers, the philosophers at the academy are just absolutely starting to take notes. They're asking incredibly detailed questions, and you're just bouncing back and forth. When you see absolutely, how to put this, when you see people who absolutely understand what they're doing, who are at the top of their game, going back and forth, you're just like, I'm so fucking lost right now. And you can see the light kind of go out on many of the acolytes and kind of like middling wizards that work at the academy, who study at the academy, who are here to learn something, and you kind of lose them in the process. Though you are absolutely getting your point across to many of the professors here, who after the fact kind of like, there's something, I forget what exactly it's called in law school, but there's something called the bullpen. I think after every lecture, there's always like a handful of students who come down towards the professor to ask even more detailed questions. It's really just what is called a gunner, someone who's gunning for an A, a gunner coming down to try to like brown nose the shit out of professors, egos, so that they get better grades at the end of the semester. And these professors are now doing it to you, Yanni. As this little street rat that you grew up as this kid who had apparently everything taken from him, and now you are at the podium having taught others ways to understand magic that they seem to never have thought about before, and now being just completely surrounded by all of these ivory tower, no better and better than you, have never had a callus in their life from. What is going through Yanni's mind in that?
There's probably some genuine, wow, managed to make something of myself somehow. A little bit I finally somebody respects my forte, as they say.
Well,
Respects my intellect, and I'm a little bit fascinated that I have things to share with these formally educated people that they couldn't find in all of these books. It kind of blows my mind a little bit. A little bit humbling on the one hand, and a little bit what's the word? Self-validating, I guess.
As you do this, many of the professors. This is starting to get late into the evening, right? It's like approaching 8 p.m. or something. Last professor kind of shakes your hand.
Says, thank you so much, Yanni. You must please come return to my class again. We must debate it like we have. That was fast. That was scintillating. That was exciting. I feel the ether in my body just wanting to yearn for more.
And you see Academics just kind of put a hand on your shoulders.
That is quite enough.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Academics says,
Well, thank you for entertaining the curriculum for this day. Usually guest speakers from Eresia, Storia, independent wizards, philosophers from across Thylea, paid a small stipend when they come and speak at the academy. Of course, this was somewhat impromptu. I appreciate you taking time away, so I just wanted to make sure.
kind of reaches behind his back and pulls out this beautiful bronze case for a scroll as he hands it over to you. And Damon, you will get to choose a 3rd level spell in exchange for that.
Ooh, 3rd level.
Whoa.
Yes.
I hope you take this as a gift from the Academy for everything that you are doing. The Light of Thylea is certainly a good name when it comes to fundraising, and though the Academy is both privately and funded through the royalty, I often find myself having to speak to nobles to supplement certain research within the Academy. As such, I would appreciate if perhaps you could come to some of these events and speak on behalf of the Light of Thylea and their association with the Academy, and many discoveries you're making and are going to be sharing with the Academy. It is, of course, something I would be interested in.
I would be happy to. The Academy has been very good to me these last several months, with me not having any ability to really pay for the education like most of the students do. So I'm happy to help and to return the favor.
They always say there are those who are born with talent and there are others who bury their heads in books until they can sound smart enough. It saddens my heart that you did not have the fortune to, well, at least be raised by the war wizards of Eresia. Truly made a magnificent gem out of the mind that you possess, but it appears that autodidactically you were able to do this yourself. Magnificent.
I had a little help. I did too. About the book, didn't I? Pretty sure I did.
We never had time to truly dive into the mysteries that it presents, yes?
Yeah. Wasn't very happy with me for telling you either, but damage done, so...
Sentient. It's fascinating. Implications are amazing. Well, I have taken up enough of your day already. I appreciate everything you've done for us. I hope to see you tomorrow.
If time and circumstance permits, yes, we'll be back.
Thank you. And, once we have the scrolls signed and the deal hashed out,
I think it is appropriate at the level that you have achieved, the esteem that you certainly now have amongst, well, your colleagues. Yanni should be an honorary wizard. Academy.
Really?
As I have said, some prove themselves through their deeds rather than studies.
Wow. 3 months ago, I was a spirit rat in Eurasia, and now I'm a member of the Academy of Mytros. That's... Wow.
Let's let the lore bards hash out the details of a contract. But yes, I would very much appreciate and like that. Not just selfishly for the Academy, but also you deserve it.
Thank you.
Well, it is late, and my partner is probably waiting impatiently for me, so I must say my goodbyes. Have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, you too.
He gives you another warm handshake and then starts walking out. You're just alone by yourself in this lectern hall.
A little bit mind-blowing.
You guys ultimately come back towards the palatial space. Brissa, Lyra, what were you guys doing during the rest of the day?
Probably just waiting for Valis.
Anything you guys
Making
want
sure
to do?
Rhodas isn't dead.
Oh, Rhodas, yeah. You, every once in a while, just gotta hold his nose shut just to make sure he goes.
Right, just kind of hold your hand over his mouth to make sure he's breathing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hanging on.
Rhodas, for your part, for the first time in forever, you have no nightmares. You have not a single thought surrounding your mother. It is just beautiful, peaceful void. Oblivion, darkness, and sleep. As you guys wait for an hour or so, you see Valis return. You see two Amazons carrying two small boxes that apparently have been makeshift, used as containers for these balls. As Valis steps forward, she says, "I could not find anything nefarious with this, but I don't trust it. It appears to have the ability to control the surrounding weather. Powerful magic. Permanent. Why would Sidon give you such a boon?"
Because we have to talk to you about it as well, but we kind of wanted to see if we could avoid this whole war thing, right? Like save the lives of the people of Mytros, save the lives of the people in his army, right? And so we talked, like I was there, I said that we totally wanted to sit down and meet, and that he really needs to not ask for like so many sacrifices and stuff like that, right? And he's that, and he also needs to give and not just take, right? So this was him giving were these blessings, so I think that was his first step. And then he asked for some things, right? He asked for the people to do what they can and tithe to him, right? But he didn't say that you have to sacrifice a bunch of people or anything, but so if they can only do a prayer, then they can only do a prayer. But if they can afford a gold, right, then they can afford a gold. And then he also asked the day that we are doing this peace summit to do kind of like a festival about hating on Estor, and also kind of building up some goodwill towards helping the Gigans rebuild, wherever they're going to rebuild. So things that we definitely have to sit down and talk about. I feel like the festival hating on someone is a little weird, right? So we'll definitely more focus on the Gigan portion. If we do this, where we can just have a little corner about the hating Estor, because it's kind of just, I feel like it's really weird celebrating hating someone like that.
A hate Estor booth, just
in
the middle of the festival.
Yeah, they could just go there and spit on it. He wanted them to. He was very specific. They wanted to spit on the effigy of Estor. So, I mean, he was an asshole, so I don't really care too much on that one.
Honestly, when it comes to trusting Sidon, kind of.
It definitely is a wave, right? Like it's like, oh, you're horrible. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. You know, it's
Right. And Lutheria, we're absolutely. She's.
yeah. So that's
But
going to be like the summit, right, where we talk to Sidon and it's like, hey, you know, we would like peace, but we totally have to kill Lutheria because, you know, like she's a little, you know.
and honestly, we're trying to find a way to make everyone happy without having to kill everybody. And wow, that would be significantly easier to just immediately jump to taking one side out of the picture. You have to keep in mind that this is technically Estrella's family, whether we like it or not. So that has to be a part of the whole equation when it comes to what we're going to do. And we figured, why not try and talk to him and see if we can come to a mutually beneficial solution before it ends in violence. But if it doesn't work out, then it will probably end in violence.
Where is Estrella?
That is a great question. I haven't had the chance to talk to her because Brissa went and got herself poofed into a different dimension.
And for the last hour, as you guys were waiting for Alice, Estrella had been gone.
I mean, she might be getting ready for it, right? She, you know, she was going to be the one that is going to be like attending the, you know, because it's going to be like a limited invite type thing, right? So she might be getting ready for it.
She did seem real kind of down after everything that happened with Gaius, so she probably is just off somewhere recentering. I mean, we've been through a lot in the last week, not to mention this whole entire time. A lot of stress builds up that we got to bottle up.
Yeah, it's true. The spears going.
Do you think this is genuine?
I mean, you know, when I was talking to him and I mentioned like the sacrificing of the children and everything like that, he really seemed hurt by those things that Lutheria is doing, right? And then we also know that he previously had weapons made to kill Lutheria, right? So there's like kind of like a bunch of things that adds up that is just kind of like maybe Sadon is just kind of done with her shit, right? I mean, so you know, that's kind of what we're hoping for, and you know, like we have, you know, Estrella as kind of like our link, you know, to him to like kind of convince him of the good things. And it's like I said, we you know what, we're going to talk to you and you know your fellows, and you know, kind of see if we can do these ties and do the festival the day of, and you know. And he said he would bless the, you know, like the crops and everything like that, so that, you know, everything's wonderful and there's nothing malicious within the orbs that you saw.
And in Astoria too, right? You said both, right?
Both cities, yep. And it does have to be within both cities.
And obviously we weren't just gonna like show up and bring Sidon with us. We wanted to talk to you first because we want all of you guys to be there. Probably Acastus too. He's definitely got a say in this. Which brings me to my next question. Because we want all of the 5 to be there. We killed Gaius, and so he's out of the picture now. So do you know if all 5 can be there?
Well, I can tell you my mother will, regardless.
Well, I mean, you guys are still called the 5. I know your mom can't be there.
I think she's trying to hint at the fact that, you know, she got kind of killed. Okay, you know.
It depends on the wording of the... Depends on if she swore it to Sidon, to Gaius.
Ooh, if she swore to Sidon, that's gonna make things difficult.
Well, remember, Estrella can still talk to her. It's just like we can't, right? Because Estrella like came in at a later date in time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Sinon wants us all to be there, though, right?
You guys
Uh,
know that
She's part of
Estrella.
the oath of friendship, so she's part of it now.
oh god damn it. Oh, never mind then.
And he wants us all to be there, right? Didn't he say that? Didn't
No,
he tell you
he did say he said he wanted us on the same page, right?
Oh,
You know,
okay.
he didn't say we had to be there. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, I would probably still want to be there.
yeah. I think we were gonna let like Australia like lead, and we were just gonna sit in the back, right? And like maybe like pass notes up, you know, like be like, oh yeah, so you should
Right.
totally mention this point.
Just like stand behind her and whisper, and those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm surprised by this. Shocked, really. Just as much as you.
Honestly, same. Honestly,
But I am proud of you.
Fist pump.
I cry.
She kind of holds up the fist and she kind of just looks at it for a second, kind of like a weird little half smile. She rolls her eyes with a smile and then kind of like fist bumps back. I have worked for so long. Try to create a better Thylea for everyone. To make Mytros a place of refuge. If this works, it will have been for something.
You know, to save a lot of lives, right? I think that's, you know, like kind of our goal is we don't want a war because, you know, wars cost a lot of lives, you know, on both sides.
Fighting, exhausting. Just so exhausting. All the time.
I mean, given it is fun every now and then, right? So, you know,
I mean, sure, like a nice little spar, but like I got knocked out of the sky a couple days ago, just flat on my face twice. Exhausting. So, you know, diplomacy, I guess, is the word of the day.
if that doesn't work, then, you know, we will fall back to plan B and, you know, attempt to, you know, just go about it in the bloody manner. But, you know, like, again, we want to try and go in plan A of not the bloody manner.
All right, as you're sleeping, Brian, I sent you a direct message on Foundry.
God. Oh no.
Oh, on Foundry, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
As you guys, you know, kind of start reeling about the implication of this and the prepping that is going to go into this, and we'll talk about this after we get back from a quick break, because I don't know if you guys are feeling it. I'm certainly feeling it. Let's take a quick potty break and then talk about all of the implications of what might happen from this. All right, see you guys here shortly. Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to... Alrighty. Oh, you guys didn't tell me that my thing had frozen again. Oh.
Hey, David. Your thing froze.
Thanks.
Sometimes it's just fun.
You suckers. Alrighty, cool. As we're picking it back up, Brissa had an interesting encounter with Sidon. You guys, you received the balls of Sidon to be placed within the statues of the temples dedicated to Sidon within Astoria and Mytros. Now, as you guys had Valis confirm, the balls seem to be non-malicious. They're kind. They have magnificent powers contained within them. But it appears that in order to unlock these power balls, you will have to somehow convince the populace to not only give an undefined amount for as reparations to the Gigans, whose people have been absolutely, literally driven to extinction by Estor and the Dragonlords 500 years ago. Beyond that, Sidon additionally requested that you somehow organize a festival to be held on the day that you guys are going to have this meeting with Sidon that commemorates the war crimes that were committed by Estor and have effigies of him burned in these places to show the sincerity that Brissa had lobbied for, the kindness, sincerity of peace between the Fae and the settler races. So, as you guys are, having, Yanni ultimately returned, you fill Yanni in with the details. Valis said that she's a proud mommy and you guys are good people. She, looks towards you. Yanni, you're certainly the one who's kind of like walking to the situation. Rhodus, we'll say you take a momentary break from your long nap that you've been taking to kind of, contribute to this conversation. What do you guys discuss, if anything, this evening?
So you met Sidon's kid, huh?
Yeah, but I totally thought it was Sidon at first. I'll be honest. It was the whole third eye thing. I just kept on staring directly at the third eye, but it was actually a fake third eye. It was it was just a pretend. But
Okay.
Did he seem cool? Was he like?
Sidon's
I know
kid,
you said
right?
he absolutely tried to kill you.
Yeah, no, the Sidon's kid is an asshole. Yeah, no, that's we might have to take care of him, and we'll see. But but he was not kind. Threw a lightning bolt at me.
You think we're gonna put him down like a dog?
Hopefully, he seemed rather intimidated by his father. So hopefully, his father, Sidon would just be leave him alone, right, and he'll go about his way. But if he, I guess we'll see. We'll see. He doesn't have a spear to, tempt me anymore because Sidon melted it.
Did he seem like the type to hold a grudge or to follow Daddy's orders?
A little bit of both, right? You kind of got the sense of him that he was really seeking approval of his father and stuff like that, but you also got the sense that he would do anything to get the approval of his father, right? So his father did say don't kind of leave us alone, right? But at the same time, right, he might be well, he said leave him alone, but I didn't say I can send all these assassins after him or something like that, right? We'll see. We'll see.
That wouldn't exactly be leaving us alone, but okay.
Yeah, indirectly, I guess.
Makes me wonder about Crane too. We'll have to deal with that still.
Crane was nice. She let us go, right? So
when you think about it,
but
she kind of. I think we'd all still be bound by the oath of friendship, right? Right?
I don't know, sure. She did leave us, right? Wouldn't that be kind of
really,
breaking it?
I don't think either way we'd be able to hurt each other without repercussions, right?
Well, based on our oath.
Unless it's like void since she left us, right? I'm not really sure how that one works. Man,
Yeah, I don't know.
in the night.
That was a long time ago, and even I don't remember the exact wording anymore.
Yeah.
It's probably our longest oath, but yeah, I don't really remember the wording either.
Definitely was. Definitely was.
Man, where was that silly part when we needed it, right?
I know, right? He could have recorded it. That would have been awesome.
Where is he?
We told him to go like spread about how awesome we
Oh,
are.
right,
We killed
right.
Gaius and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hopefully that's going well.
So do we want to do this plan? Are we going to do the festival and then, have people give the tithe? I think we can totally, like lead by example, right? Do some, tithing and then like talk around with the people and stuff like that. And we can, it sounds like Valis is down to do it. And then so, we can do that. And then, Castus will be down, right? Knowing him.
I am not entirely sure about that. Valis, who has been in the room with you, says.
Oh, I thought she left.
Look, we were just talking about you.
Yeah, I don't like when you talk about me in the third person, but again, as a god, you're kind of used to it. Anyway, the part about Estor is going to be the most difficult, I believe. If people are willing to give gold freely, Acastus has no problem brown-nosing his way into the good graces of Sidon. That's what he's done with Gaius for the longest time, and well, Chandras in regards to Materia. Chandras, by the way, also has been gone this entire time. So, the thing that concerns me is that, well, how to put this? Acastus draws his fame, his image truly from being associated with Estor. Acastus is the third generation after Estor. Though Estoria was named after his great-grandfather, it is in Mytros where the Archalanders became kings. Where he became king.
I have a plan for that one, actually. So,
Please,
like,
planning.
yeah, so, like, I understand, how, he thinks Estor is his like, claim to fame, almost, right? So what we can do, right, is, try and convince him, like, number one, that he can be better than Estor, right? Set a better example, right? And then, at the same time, right, I think, like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't really heard any, like, great deeds, that Castus has, like, performed. Like, so maybe he comes with us, and helps us slay Hexia, right? I mean, I think that would be a pretty like great deed to add under his belt, so, like slaying a green dragon that terrorized the land, right? And kind of like gets that fame for himself out there and showing him rising above and protecting the people and setting a better example than what his ancestors set forth, right?
My dear husband is a sly little weasel. I think he would love to have the fame that you describe. I don't know how much of the actual work he would be willing to do.
I mean, if he stays on the ship and, watches the ship and guards the ship, he's still there and, we can sweep it under the rug that he didn't contribute, right? But, he still gets some of the credit, right? And, we'll say him and Rotus, like landed the final blow together or something like that. We have a bar to fluff it up a little bit, right? They can make it really epic.
Scylla, by the way, when you reappeared, tackled you and kind of like started licking your face, which just like immediately separated the skin off of it. Just like imagine like a really severe, like a metallic cat tongue, right? But no, jokes aside, Scylla after that though seems to have kind of like just cowered away in a corner and hasn't really been making eye contact with you, but certainly always kept checking that you are there physically. You see Valis kind of look towards her and then back towards you. What's going on?
Drama.
Yeah, I mean, it was, she made friends with Gaius's dragon, and then we had to kill said dragon. I don't know if we actually had to kill it, right? It was kind of like something, I guess up in the air for debate, but we killed said dragon, and it was technically, her main dragon friend. So, I think we really just need to introduce her to some other dragons so that she can see that,
Like Icarus.
like maybe other ones than
Maybe
Icarus.
not
Icarus. Yeah, Icarus seems a little.
He's not setting a good example. I
Yeah.
wouldn't want this, no.
Yeah.
How?
Like Hexia, right before we kill Hexia.
I mean, let's let's do some other dragons. Like I feel like Valis.
Those are the only other dragons I know, other than Crane's dragon, who will probably also have to kill if Crane decides to attack us.
There's some other dragons here that we've seen them. We just don't know their names yet.
As you say that, Brissa, you remember a letter that was sent to you a very, very, very long time ago.
I don't remember a letter, but
Yeah, me either. We've been through so much.
That Aesop had actually sent you. If
Is
you want
it
to read it,
everything
I have it up on the screen too, but if you
So as the keeper of the Dragonshine, I felt it was my obligation to return back to Astoria now that the Horn of Valmitria is in safe hands with Queen Valis. However, I have a favor to ask you. Many believe that all the dragons of Valmitria's brood were killed alongside her in the First War 500 years ago. However, my research while studying the archives in the Academy of Mytros indicates that the other 4 dragons may have been captured by the Titans. If this is true, then they must be found and rescued. I beg you to be watchful on your journeys. As the Oracle's chosen few, I believe that these dragons would serve you so long as you hold the ideals of the former masters. May the fates guide you. Aesop, keeper of the Dragonshine.
beautiful. DM inspiration for having to read out loud in front of the class.
Beautiful.
100% forgot all about that. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I also forgot the Horn of Valmitria existed.
Now imagine being the person that has to remember all of this bullshit. And then you guys hit me with the, what was that one shopkeeper's
long.
name from like 17 sessions ago? Who was that again? I was like, fuck.
Remember when we ate food and went on a weird acid trip? Yeah, that happened a long time ago.
But yeah, so she's just going through some stuff. I mean, she just lost a friend, basically, right? She doesn't really know what's going on. I planned on talking with her at a later date and time, right? Like later tonight, talk to her about what happened and stuff like that, and kind of assure her that not every dragon that we meet is going to be killed. But there's going to be friends out there eventually. Good dragons.
I hope so.
Also, it only seems fair to keep you on the same page with everything, since you already mentioned him. Chandris is helping us.
Yep.
He is.
Her eyes immediately go towards Yanni.
He's a pretty big reason that we were able to kill Gaius. We made a deal with him to protect him and keep him alive, and in return, he will help us kill Lutheria.
When you say
So-
deal, did you oath this?
We 100% did.
See, even she loves oaths, guys. Like,
If I could reach her face right now, I'd smack it.
Yeah, he started off on not a great foot, with the sacrificing children to Lutheria thing. We talked about that. And he seemed like he would be willing to help us, so we had a little rendezvous with him. He kept us safe while we were hiding out on the Isle of Yonder. And then we made an oath to keep him safe from Lutheria, and in return, he would help us in our mission to figure out how to kill her and give us intel and things like that. So Just thought you should know.
Must say that I do not trust this, but you have an oath for me. Plus, it appears that he genuinely helped you.
Oh yeah, we probably would have died if he was not there.
Well, yeah, we would
Even-
100% would have died.
He even teleported us out of there to keep us all alive.
And then lied to one of Sidon's, captains to make it seem like he had captured us so that they wouldn't just immediately kill us after they had taken over our ship.
Mhm.
Did a
Believe
whole
me.
fake murder thing.
Nobody was more apprehensive about working with him than I was. And I'm the one who ended up making the oath.
That's
Interesting.
I
true.
don't know if you know how I am about oaths or not, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah, Yanni loves them, so it just makes them alive every day.
Yeah.
Well, you're the heroes of Thylea. You have to know what is best. You trust him. Trust him. Just don't trust him completely. Okay?
Kind of like we trust him because he's useful right now kind of situation.
Exactly. Well, let me bring this up to Acastus. He's not going to like it, and I'm going to have to try to slowly massage this idea into his mind so that he might be open to it, hypothetically speaking. But I know that he's been taking a liking to you, Brisa. Maybe try to nest that.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk to him. Like, that's perfectly fine. Like, I planned on talking to him anyways because I wanted to see if we could do some trading together while I was here. You said something about me becoming like a Dragonlord officially or something.
Oh, well, congratulations. I know it has meant a lot to him to have that. Do you mention the letter to Alice, by the way?
Yeah, I'll mention it. That, you know.
Well, hey. Boobity, boobity, boobity. I'll call it out for you guys.
Bitty boobity.
Boobity, boobity, boobity. Some insight checks, please.
Oh, I love insight checks.
I'm kind of
Rose
okay
is
at
like
them.
passing out. He's
Wow. I was not paying attention on that one.
Oh, whoops. I didn't click the thingy because my thing, it wasn't scrolled down, so I didn't even see it. But I rolled a 21.
Brissa, you're reading the letter out loud, kind of sharing it with Valis. Rhodas, you're like, I'm listening. As you're like literally just passing out as this is happening. Yanni, you're just over in the corner, like having the scroll rolled out and like starting to study it and see, the most efficient way to get it into your spell book. Lyra, the perceptive genuinely empathetic person that she is.
I hate drama. Ugh. Drama, gross.
You see a little bit of a flinch from Valis, seeing those words be read out, or hearing them, sorry. And there's something that crosses her mind, and then you can see her brow furrowing and kind of a narrowing of her eyes. She says, Castus, what have you done? I need to go. Please stay within the palace, or at least within Mytros, within our shield. They have given up a lot in order to be able to do this. And indeed, all of you guys notice, Valis has actual bags under her eyes. Certainly there is some makeup that kind of covers it, but there's a permanent tiredness that you can see on her face that wasn't there the first time you met her. Ever since the Golden Dome went up, it seems like her and Vitor and even Vulcan all seem to exhibit this, you might call it exhaustion of sorts. Alright, well, try to get some sleep. She kind of looks at Rhodas, cocks her head to the side, kind of smiles. As she walks up to him, he's kind of snoring up against the pillar. And this tiny framed, maybe like 5'5" woman steps up towards Rhodas and just picks him up like a baby, cradling him in her arms as she walks him over into the bed and kind of like tucks him in.
Oh.
Rhodas, your decision if you kind of wake up or not.
I mean, I'm gonna be awake, but I'm just gonna let it happen.
Little Auntie Violet.
As she tucks you in, she kind of just like puts a little hand on your cheek and goes, I wish all of this could have happened under such different circumstances. I wish I could have gotten to know you better sooner. Well, I'll be off then. If you need anything, please don't come to me. Tell one of the people in the palace and I will address it in the... And she, at first, is kind of looking
Did
around.
Lyra
just
jump line
finishes
again?
staring at Lyra.
Lyra, did you jump line again?
I didn't do anything. I walked in and I was mobbed. It was a mob.
Are you sure you
I
don't
did
want to
nothing.
join the Bardic College? I hear the epics that they write are magnificent. You are very good at weaving stories and reinventing the truth. You might even call it
Yeah.
alternative truth.
Yeah, those bards
rolls her
wish they
eyes.
could lie like I can. So
As she starts walking out, already kind of like waving her hands back. And unless you guys want to accomplish anything else or discuss anything else this evening, fast forward to the next day.
where is Estrella?
You look about, and there's still no sign of her. It's later in the evening, still no sign of her. At the time you guys finally bed down, still no sign of her.
I trust her, but I'm worried.
Diana, can you like send like a message or something to her? Like, and you know, I heard you saying that you could do something like that.
And, yeah, but are we worried?
I mean, just to make sure she's okay. More like, hey, you're still alive, right? Not kidnapped by Saudon, right? I mean, that is going around, right? You know, just.
People are just
I don't
getting
know.
kidnapped.
She might not be gullible enough to just, grab things when her heart's desire suddenly goes up in front of her unexplained. But anyway,
You know, if you had seen that spear, Yanni, imagine if a spell book appeared right in front of you and it just contained all of the spells ever in existence. Would you not touch it right away?
that would be very suspicious and probably review it as carefully as I could with every spell at my disposal. And I would absolutely not touch it. That's just silly.
I mean, to be fair, isn't a spellbook just showing up in front of Yanni how he ended up in this situation? To be fair.
No, I went and stole it intentionally.
Yeah. You told
That's
us
the
that story.
same thing. That's the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing. What if
Not
it's
quite.
deliberately seeking out a
Anyway,
You two would
yeah, I
touch it,
guess. Let me cast a quick spell. Oops, that was not the button. Push. All right, I'm gonna cast a new. Hey, Estrella, just want to make sure you're okay. Haven't seen or heard from you all day, and Brissa got herself temporarily kidnapped, but she's back, so she's okay now. But just checking on you.
And I'm gonna have to clip that so that we can record that and have Marissa roleplay with a random message hitting her late at night. And we'll just skip forward towards the fact that you find out that Estrella is okay. Currently with Chandras, engaged in some clandestine activity.
They're engaged? No, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Drama?
She really liked him. Alright. Also, just as a side note, I just want to put it out there that we are in town and we have quite a bit of money, and we were gonna spend some of it to get things for Estrella for her spell components, but now I don't think she needs them anymore because of her fancy crown, I think. So, just putting it out there, we got money.
Yeah, I need to get some of the materials for the teleportation spell I learned. It's not quite as cool as the one Chandra's used, but it can still be useful.
I mean, we did a lot of stuff to get money, and we haven't spent it yet. It's burning a hole in the bag of holding, and we need to get it out of there.
I don't think that's how money works.
I've got this new chess piece and a new sword on the way. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So feel free to spend some money on spend my cut.
I mean, we each almost each have like 1,000 gold. It's like a little less than 1,000 gold per person. We have 4,900 gold in the party loot right now.
But we do need to pay the sailors still again, right? When we go out on the next voyage.
Okay. So we each have like, I don't know, 800 gold.
I mean, yeah, we can. If there's something you want to buy, Lyra, like
There's not. We just have so much money, and we were so adamant about doing these quests to get all this money, and now we have it, and we haven't used any of it.
I think our adamancy was more so that we could pay our sailors, right? And
Well, I
also
don't think we killed a chimera just to pay sailors.
I mean, that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, that's kind of. I'm pretty sure that's why I wanted to do it, just so we could give them a fair wage.
Right, so I've got Brissa's and Rhodus's cut. Got it?
Hey, are you still... Actually, this is more of a... Are you, Tyler, are you still wearing leather armor?
No, I just have constant mage armor now from my Armor of Shadows.
I couldn't remember. I was pretty sure you had never gotten studded leather, and I'm sitting here on a...
No, I was going to, but now I just have constant mage armor. Because evocation.
Good evocation.
Which, I mean, if stuff can stack with that, I know you technically can't be wearing armor to have mage armor.
Cannot stack, no.
Not even if it's like a ring of protection.
Oh yeah. Ring of protection is different.
Versus
Like,
defense.
I
in
knew armor
3.5
can't
there were some
stack,
rules about
but-
stacking, but yeah, ring of protection and mage armor can stack, yes.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't say no to something like that. I can't can't wear other armor with it.
Yeah, no, I can't help you there, but I get this studded leather.
I know you can't, but we have money.
Money!
Money.
If you get the price right, you could just like if they ask for like 4,800, right? We probably shouldn't do it, right? Because obviously
If it costs that much for a ring, I'll buy it. So
why would you buy? But then we wouldn't have any money to pay the sailors.
yeah, I know. It was a joke.
No, okay.
I would never.
But if it's
4,700 gold though, you got a deal.
that's probably the. But I'm perfectly fine with you buying some, a ring of protection if you feel like you need it, or something else.
I mean, I'll have to check out the shops. I'll go talk to Agalia. That was her name, right? The owlkin.
I would
Probably
just
not
make sure that we have
that
enough
other
for food
person.
provisions.
Yeah. I'm not gonna spend all of our money. Just like 90% of.
I need about 250 gold for the
Yeah,
stuff I need
honestly,
for the
I probably
teleport
shouldn't
spell.
be holding all of it if other people need to spend it. So I'll give Yanni some. What do you want? Like 500? How much do you think you could carry, Yanni?
I mean, like I said, I need like 250 for the chalks and stuff.
Do you
I don't
need
know.
any
Just-
other spell components?
Not really. Not yet, anyway. But if you wanna toss me another, I don't know, like 50 just for incidentals.
Yeah. I'll just start scooping gold out of the bag of holding, and I'll give Yanni 300 gold.
I think I can just take that out of the party, can't I?
Probably. I don't want to touch it. I just want to look at it.
Alrighty.
There is this handy dandy split currency button. We could just pass it all out.
Shh.
Let's do that.
Oh, Rodus and Brissa already gave me their half.
Hey, I didn't give you that.
Alrighty. Go ahead and divvy that out to everyone, and then let's say it becomes the next morning. Everybody gets a long rest in.
Don't forget your inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true. So is that inspiration you gave me one of your new inspirations then?
They're all the new inspirations. Because you guys are, teamed up with the Fates. The Fates are giving you guys an inspiration at the end of every long rest. And you guys are additionally having the new rules where you guys can reroll after the roll is made. Taking away the lucky feat in exchange, though.
Hell yeah.
What should my exhaustion level be at now? I think it should be 3. Okay.
You get your hit points back.
There you go.
That was level 4 exhaustion. I couldn't remember what happens afterwards. You get half hit points.
Ugh.
Yeah, and then I think your movement drops to
Joy.
0, and then you die.
Yep. I think there's one more in between that, maybe. I think 7 is dead.
Nope, 6 is dead.
Oh, is it 6?
You know what we should, potentially buy is something that stops that from happening to Rodus / all of us.
Do you think they sell portable god magic domes?
I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe Yanni can do some testing or spells or some research, and kind of talk to people and see if there's a protection from that type of thing. Like, is it a curse?
This is like god level shit. Maybe we want to ask Valis about it tomorrow. Not cutting in line.
I didn't cut in line.
Yeah, we could ask Valis about it. I mean, I think any of the gods might know, right?
I mean, she did literally just tell us that if we needed something to not ask her and ask anybody else before she left. I remember that part pretty clearly.
Yeah.
So, if we immediately go to her the next day with something,
Maybe you can ask your dad, Ro, and be like, hey, Lutheria's giving me really bad dreams and I can't sleep at night, and then I think it's killing me slowly. Maybe he can do something about it, or knows something that can be done about it.
Are we in a particular rush, or is it something that we feel like I can sleep off in Mytros?
No, because we're going to be doing the meet, right? So you can sleep it off, but once we start traveling outside of Mytros, right, it's going to keep on happening again, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think we were planning to stay here at least long enough for you to recuperate.
Yep. But then after that, we should have something. If we have to get the gold, right, to, cast spells and make it so that that doesn't happen, we have to do that. But if we can find some other means to protect you from it, I think that would be better.
Even if it's just like a temporary thing.
Like a mind shield of some kind.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we talk about whether or not using Greater Restoration would get rid of it too, or not?
Yeah.
Could probably spend some money on that. It's what,
Yeah.
like 100 gold worth of diamond dust or something?
For casting, yeah.
Yeah, per casting though, right? So
Right, but it would, if we get, like a couple hundred, that would at least be a
And-
couple days of not having to worry about it.
And it's a 5th level spell, so it's gonna basically have Estrella down 5th level spell slot every day.
Yeah, but
I'm
wonder
just
if we
saying
could,
it's
like-
not ideal if we can find a.
yeah. Oh
better
no, no, no.
solution.
I totally agree. That is like the last resort. But I'd rather have Estrella be a little down in spells and us a little down in money than have Rotus on death's door just because he can't sleep.
I wonder if we can somehow like bless the Ultros like the city was blessed, right? You know, kind of like do the same thing, but on a much smaller scale, right? Just for the Ultros.
Well, unless Peter comes here, I don't expect I'll be making my way to Astoria before we leave.
I think he's gonna have to come here for the meet, right? So
I expect have we gotten word to him?
I think that's what Valis was gonna do.
yeah, it sounded like that's what Valis is going to do.
She was probably gonna talk to Acastus first, but I think she was gonna talk to everyone else.
Well, she'll have a hard time convincing him.
She can just tell him there'll be wine.
I thought we wanted him sober.
Doesn't mean there'll actually be wine. You could just tell him there'll be wine.
I see how you're playing it.
Then we'll
Fast and loose with the truth.
yeah, we'll be sure to have him in a great mood then.
We don't need him to be happy. We just need him to be there.
Well, then we need him to agree to the plan.
Yes. I think he would, you know, like, I think your father is still, you know, like, he does love fighting and everything, you know, I think in the end, you know, he'll do what's right for the people.
He has pretty, he's pretty fond of Esther.
Well, you know what they say. There's no accountant for taste.
Yeah, Esther was a dick.
Yeah, he was awful. Even when he was dead.
Yeah. He tried to
Well.
possess you.
Hopefully we can convince him then. I expect he'll be the one holdout if we have one.
Yeah.
So he'll be the one to convince.
I mean, they would have said it had to be unanimous, right? If it's like, you know, like,
Be majority rule.
yeah, if it's majority rules, right, then, you know, you'll have to kind of accept his fate.
We probably want him on our side, though.
No,
And I
we
feel
have
like
to do, yeah.
him being outvoted by everyone else would make him just be like, well, I don't want to be a part of this at all. That seems like something he would do.
Let's hopefully that it doesn't come to that bridge.
And we already have to convince Sidon to, you know, be okay with it. We've already got to do so much just to convince him to be there, so.
I mean, it is a long shot, right? I think we all knew that. It's going to be a lot of work and a lot of effort, but, you know, like, it's better than killing a lot of people.
Absolutely.
True.
But
Fighting is exhausting.
But if in the end it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And then, you know, we'll take those 2 balls, we'll, you know, give them to your grandfather, he'll smelt them into something cool, and then, you know, we'll be good.
We can just put more stuff on your sword. Your sword will be like 3 times the size of you. It'll be awesome.
It's like an anime where
Yeah.
it just keeps growing every episode.
Yeah.
You just put them on the bottom, and then it's like 2 balls at the bottom. You just...
It
Well,
becomes
this
like
is
attached to
cold
my
as well.
arm.
Goes played.
The sword
We can-
wields Rotus.
You can put them on the back of the Ultros, right? You know?
Just put it at the
Where's
front
the
of the
rudder?
Ultros. It's just like the corridor.
Yeah. You got to put them on the back. Yeah. Hang them off the license plate.
Yeah.
Now imagine Fuzzy in Vegas dies.
Oh God. I mean, I'm
Alright.
going shopping. If anyone wants to come with me, that's my next plan of action.
I'm going to Acastus.
I don't think he respects me very much because I'm little and not physically imposing. So I will go shopping instead.
Rotus, you
Yeah,
are
that's true. You could just come with me.
tall and physically imposing. Would you rather go to Castus or go shopping?
I'll go with Acastus.
Already.
Or go with them to Acastus.
with that, we'll pick up with the shopping first to get that out of the way, and then I think we're going to do the Casa stuff and what happened to the rest of next week. But as you guys are saying your goodbyes and kind of split off, you, Lyra, and Yanni start heading towards Agalia's shop. You go back to the Great Ahura and walk into the beautiful little store that, of course, belongs to your favorite little owlin in the entire world, Agalia.
Look at the little cat on the table.
You see the familiar greenery and shrubbery that is just extending to the left and right, the occasional meow. There's, of course, like a
There's
lo-fi
cats
music.
everywhere.
Lo-fi music that seems to be kind of just hanging like a little sitar playing in the background. As you guys walk in, Agalia immediately kind of perks up. You see, the beautiful little bronze-colored flowers that she has kind of woven into her plumage. As she goes,
Oh, welcome back. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. I was actually excited to hear that you came back. I was wondering when you would come into the store. I do have new wares for sale if you would like to browse. And of course, I need to know everything that happened to you. Many of my customers are now asking about you and the fact that this is your favorite store in the Ahura.
That is true.
Most people get a discount when they say it's their favorite store.
Oh, well, you haven't officially said it, but, despite that little bit of a dig, I am absolutely willing to maybe negotiate something. You just need to be nicer. That's all I'm asking.
I'm on the ground, just like to the little cats, just trying to get them all to come to me.
most of them are kind of like looking at you lazily and I kind of go back down. One of them is just like, meow, as this bird person is just like, you hear some kind of like a meow balaba dub dub as it kind of like starts walking away from you. But definitely like half a dozen or so actually they do come up and kind of start to like rub up against your legs.
I never asked, are you allergic?
I hope not.
All right, roll me a D1. No, I'm just kidding. Players, I wanted to try something new with this. We all know how much of a pain shopping can be sometimes, and I would still love to roleplay through all of this.
Oh, yeah.
However, you should be, at the very least, able to double-click on Agalia, and then once you have double-clicked on her, there should be a tab that says, you can see it right there, what she has, or if you click on trade, you can actually see the price of things, you can hover over things to kind of get an idea of all the things she does offer. So, if you'd like to, you can peruse for a second some of the shopping options there, as we'll switch over for just a half second, we'll say, to Rodus and Brissa. Sorry, they both probably thought that they could, totally zone out and maybe start a video game or something like that on the side. But as you guys are starting to walk towards the training grounds, what's the game plan in trying to convince Acastus to not just go along with the plan of meeting with Sidon in the first place, but maybe that step beyond and besmirching the name of his family's, most significant namesake? What do the meatheads come up with? I'm curious.
Bristol was gonna, talk to Rita and be like, so, are we good with the plan of him, coming along and, getting partial credit for the, Hexia kill, right? I mean, obviously, we're going to do it, right? And we know, but, kind of fluffing him up a little bit.
We need to make him feel as important as possible. It's the key to Acastus's heart, so...
Exactly, right? And so I think the goal is that, he can be better than his ancestors, right? He can right their wrongs and he can, do things that they couldn't do, right? So like slay Hexia and stuff like that. So I think overall, I think that should be our general goal. And
we can have the bard write him in as the hero.
Yeah, I was going to also pledge my an oath to him of I'll serve the Dragonlords, or something along those lines.
I will not pledge any oaths.
That's fair. That's fair.
How would Rodus feel? I mean, that's a good question. As that is broached, we'll say, you have a particular relationship with dragons, Rodus. How would you feel about the thought of being associated with dragons? the thought of you maybe riding a dragon into battle. I mean, it's an epic image at the very least, but how does Rhodas feel about that? What's going through his mind as he kind of imagines that for a second?
Scylla has made Rhodas more of a hashtag not all dragons. So I think I think maybe especially green dragons he has like a particular distaste for, or dragons that aren't bonded to a rider. It seems like dragons that are sort of rogue, roaming, stealing, amassing hordes as dragons do. I think the one thing that Rhodas is most concerned about is Peter ruining all of this. He could really throw a wrench in things if he chooses not to go along. I think if anybody that could potentially prevent it from happening, it would be him.
All right.
So he needs to be pretty convincing.
What do you say to Brissa? As you guys are kind of rounding the corner towards the training ground, you can see that there are 3 copper dragons with their riders currently putting barding on the side of the dragons. It's an interesting sight, having these young to adult dragons be equipped with additional armor plating upon them.
I think first we should ask to Brissa. I'll say as we were on the corner, we should ask if Valis has already talked to him. Do we need to fill him in on the whole plan, or?
Yeah. We'll ask him about that first. I think that's a good idea, so that we don't have to, I think Val should definitely talk to him first. So if she hasn't talked to him, yeah, then we can just talk about doing some training. But I assume she talked to him last night, right? I mean, they had the entire night.
So we'll approach. Is he on top of the dragon as they're loading it up, or?
Currently, as you look up, you do see the silver dragon circling up above, and it seems like Acastus is in full kind of this gold bronze armor, kind of already going through some flight routines, trying to do barrel rolls and kind of stay upon the dragon. See, they're kind of bound down too. The 3 riders immediately greet Brissa. You Rhodas as well, but it seems like they're definitely a little bit more focused towards the fellow dragon rider. As we switch back really quick to Yanni and Lyra, I saw Damon certainly go ooh for a second, looking through the list. What, if anything, would you guys want to buy off of this list as you guys are making small talk with Agalia, kind of going over different details?
See, I was able to invest some of the money that you have been spending on the store to acquire more things. I scrapped those 2 myself. This one I'm quite proud of. It's technically a technique that once upon a time the rangers of the Old Woods used, and she kind of points out the swift scroll. It's something that technically is outside of my normal usage, but was interesting and quite fascinating to learn about the traditions.
I wonder if I could figure out how to use it. I wonder if I could figure out how to use it.
Maybe?
Ooh. That's a lot of gold for a maybe.
I don't know how you fight. I haven't seen you in battle. Though I do like your robes. They're very nice.
Thank you. They're fairly new, yes. I do use a bow sometimes, but I don't know if the spell is within my ability to understand.
Well, you can always attempt to cast a scroll, regardless of whether it is in your normal métier of magical ability. What is the magic of scrolls? Well, is there anything that you would want more information on? Oh, this piece over here, and she kind of walks over towards what seems to be a beautiful kind of this just bright cyan teal, kind of fish, not finned, but a scaled leather armor. It's clearly made out of some kind of a large fish scale. And as you look upon it, you do see these fine runes that are kind of carved every once in a while into it, making beautiful designs. This is particularly good if you are upon a ship. I figured with the Ultros this would be perfect for you. Oh, maybe not. Ah.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I will say this too. If you are willing to pay a deposit, I may be able to start requesting certain items as well. Not everything is going to be available, but I can always put my ear to the ground. I'm just so excited.
Cool.
You are doing everything that the prophecy has said. The oracle was right. You are truly turning things around from Mytros and Thylea as a whole. It's just so exciting to see you doing so well. And I want to support them.
Lyra, she kind of leans over towards you and starts whispering with her kind of covering her beak for a second.
And if he apologizes for the tone, I'm definitely okay with giving you a discount.
No promises. Yanni kind of does his own thing, but I'll talk to him about it.
Okay.
And from your perspective, it's just
How much?
that's what you know.
One bird girl to another. I mean, I can't really use this armor. But I am kind of in the market for something maybe a little protective. I know we've talked about it before the first time I was here. Really anything that could make me a little more defensive. But I can't wear armor, unfortunately.
Right. I think you mentioned bracers before. Page 132 of the player's handbook, yes?
Anything really. And
yes.
it would be in the DM's guide, I think, technically, but
No.
I wonder if the racers are. It's definitely the DMG, but fuck me.
yeah. Player's guide doesn't have any magic items, just regular equipment.
None? Okay, now I'm gonna have to look that up for the actually episode we're gonna do for the GMs to see who knows more.
Pretty sure he's right.
Maybe Yanni has to, Damon has to be part of that too.
If it's about the campaign, I'll lose. I forget everything. As soon as the cameras turn off, I'm like, I don't remember what we did.
Depends on the meta that you're talking about. But yeah, so out of character for a second too. Is there anything that seems interesting to you guys?
I mean, the
there's
staff
a lot
seems
that seems interesting.
cool.
It's a matter of how much party gold can I get my hands on.
Yeah. I'm sure Yanni wants all of the spells.
I mean, that wand of web would be friggin' phenomenal, but that would be like the only thing we bought.
yeah. The staff is cool, but Rotus technically already has that, doesn't he? Don't barbarians get something like that? Where they can't be... Or no, that's Danger Sense that I'm thinking of, isn't it?
Which is just really advantage on like traps and X saving and stuff like that.
Can't be frightened.
Boom.
True.
So,
As a team, talk about it really quick. Is there anything that you guys would want out of it?
There's nothing I really need.
No, nothing I need.
is there a way I could turn that Swift Quiver into a wizard spell?
I don't believe so. Rules is
I
written.
mean, there's not rules as written, but that doesn't always mean anything.
I mean, if you want to dip into Ranger for just a little tiny bit, I will say this: you can
Or
always,
how many levels to get level 5 spells.
you can
17. Just
always
17.
you can always acquire the spell scroll and then attempt to cast it. I do allow that, so you can always do cross casting. It just has a higher
Yeah,
EC. That's all.
that's awful expensive for that use.
For one use.
Yeah. I mean, do you have Ice Storm or Dispel Magic? Or
No, I do not.
I mean, Dispel Magic would be really good, right?
Yeah.
Dispel magic. I fully intend to get. It's only 200 gold.
Yeah.
I kind of want. Ice Storm and Dispel Good and Evil too, but now we're getting up into real money.
That Staff of Warning is actually pretty cool.
Right? That would be the only thing that I would even think about.
Has a lot of effects.
What is Dispel Evil and Good like you do? Like,
You can click it.
It's primarily used for like it gives Celestials, Undead Fiends, maybe Fae. I have to look at it. Disadvantage on attacks against you.
yeah, okay.
You can use it to remove a Charm, Frightened, or Possession from a Celestial Elemental, Fae, or Fiend, or Undead from somebody.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised that you're not all over the healing arrow too. But then again, you're never gonna get extra attacks, so maybe not that surprised.
Yeah, and it's an interesting concept, but it's a little bit better healing than a quarter that price push and healing.
Long distance
Right.
delivery.
Yeah.
Dispel Evil and Good also gives you like a mini banishment attack. You can hit something
Yeah.
and try and banish it back to its home plate.
Yeah.
There's also the Conjure Minor and Minor Elementals. That's always good too.
Yeah, I have a lot of concentration spells already.
Yeah, fair.
Shopping.
Hey, Lara, how much of that gold can I have?
How much of the gold do you need?
I don't know, like another. Well, let's just say 2,000.
I will say that I've been told by a little bird that if you apologize for talking about getting a discount, we may get a discount.
Oh. Was she in earshot of that?
I said
She's,
it pretty
she's in the
much
back of the
out loud.
store kind of stocking some things, and you're pretty sure that she's just pretending like she's not overhearing literally every word you're saying.
Okay. Alright, hold tight. Hold tight. I'm gonna walk over to Agalia. Hey, Agalia.
Hey, hi.
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 Hey, look, I'm sorry for how I was running off at the mouth earlier. There was this guy in Arisia who used to wander around the Ahora and would just be like, hey, this is my favorite store. And they, like, all the shop owners were just like, oh, and fawning over him. And he was always walking around with all this stuff, and there's no way that he made enough money to buy it all at full price.
Oh,
So I
I've
was
heard
just
of
kinda
this
like,
oxen shepherd before, yes.
Yeah! Wow, that story made it all the way up here, huh?
Oh, of course.
That's kind of crazy. But anyway, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been running off at the mouth like that.
It's
You-
okay. I just want to make sure that you're not doing this in other stores. I really like you guys. You're doing amazing things for Mytros, and I want to support them. So,
I mean, this is literally the only place I shop, unless you don't have what I need and somebody else does. Like, that's literally the only reason that I shop anywhere else.
I know, that's how shopping works.
What's that?
What?
What did you say? I didn't hear what you said.
I said that's kind of how shopping works. I shop here, but if you don't have what I need, I shop somewhere else.
You don't shop around for best price?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's literally how shopping works.
I shop around for the best price I can get on stuff usually.
But to be fair, this is really the only place we've shopped, except for that other, like, jeweler, because we needed diamond stuff.
Yep.
well, why don't we call it a 10% discount?
Really?
I
Wow.
don't know how to do math. Oh, it did it on its own.
She waves her hand, and all the little there's like illusory little, what are they called, the tags they put, like the price stickers or whatever else. What is that called? Like the little
Price tag?
Yeah, price tag. And the little tags kind of just kind of suddenly flash with some blue magic, and you see all the ink kind of change and rearrange, and there's a new prize on it.
The magic does it by itself.
I like to call it magic tomation, but I'm still working on that title. Magication.
It's not bad. It's got.
Magify.
Automation?
Automation! I like that. That it is now. Automation.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
I appreciate all the business you're bringing in. This is fantastic. And if you do want to go walking around the Ahora like the famous oxen shepherd, and let them know that this is your favorite store. I mean, the more business I have, the more I'm going to be able to do for you in the long run.
Works for me. I would like so I need to buy some more of the inks and stuff to be able to write spells in my spell book.
Oh, of course, I have that
And-
too. Sorry that I don't have that listed.
No, that's okay. And I'm also hoping that you have the special chalks and stuff for a teleportation circle spell.
I don't, but I know where to get it.
Okay. I'd like enough of that for 5 castings if you can get it.
And then just let me know how much is that in gold normally.
250.
So
It's 50
count,
per.
Count 225 off and then mark that onto your character sheet.
Okay. Okay.
Discounts.
And then the
And Slayer just starts fucking raving.
so let's see what we got. That's,
Some of these plants have to be hallucinogenic. That's probably in the air.
Don't touch the coachella. It's not good for you. It's fun, but not
Oh,
good.
it's too
You
late.
will be dehydrated.
so
You'll have
let's-
such a bad headache the next day.
It'd be like 750 for all the spell levels if I get the spells I want.
So here's another thing. As long as you have the money in your inventory, you should be able to just buy the stuff off of this. So if you go to
Well,
the
yeah,
trade
I
tab,
don't-
for example, you can like click onto that,
I-
and then
I
click
got
trade.
you. That's the stuff that she has is not what I'm concerned about. It's the stuff that's
Scribing?
on there. The scribing stuff. I was trying to math that. 'Cause there's a 5th, a 4th, and a 3rd. So that's 12. I've got enough on me for the 3rd level I've already got. So I guess I could get by with, 600 gold worth?
To count off 540.
Okay. Uh-oh. Just lost connection to the server.
Uh-oh.
Feel good on our
I
end.
think it was you. I think it was you.
The foundry's like, wait. David cannot do something nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna take some money out of the bank right now just because I don't feel like doing that. And then I'm gonna just buy the stuff and then I'm gonna put it back.
Okay. Proposition.
Whatever's left.
Since
Yes.
it's pretty clear, so which one of the spell scrolls are you buying?
I want to get Dispel Evil and Good, Dispel Magic, and Ice Storm.
Okay, awesome. I propose, why don't we call it here? I would love to have Marissa actually be here for the summit. And obviously I would love her to be able to contribute towards the convincing of these towns to give honor towards the guidance, whether that comes in the form of tithe or whatever. And maybe beyond that, the shunning of Estor and trying to somehow get that going. So, as you guys are finishing up the shopping, we'll do that off stream just because you know how exciting shopping
Boring.
can be.
Who wants to
sometimes.
watch that? Yeah.
Since this accidentally turned into Yanni's going shopping.
Johnny has a year's worth of pent up. I want to buy scrolls.
And now you guys are famous and rich enough to do that. But anyway, as that goes, Brian, thank you for being a good sport about being A, asleep, and then B, traveling towards engagement. But we will be kicking it off with what Marissa has been up to in the form of course, Estrella and Chandras in the city. And then after that with Acastus and Brissa and Rhodus, the two beef bros, trying to convince Acastus to do something that he might not be too inclined to do. Other than that, though, thanks for an awesome RP session. I sincerely appreciated you guys.
Yeah. Also, side note, Matt just said his server went down too, so maybe it's a Foundry thing.
It's definitely 100% still up.
I don't know. Mine is 2, but he said his went down just now 2 mid game.
Might have just been
Anyways, beside the point, thank you guys so much for watching. With that, we're going to be back again next week, come hell or high water, because we had been taking way too long of a break. And I'm excited to reinvigorate the stream because the storyline deserves it. I'm also excited for some quiet downtime for you guys. I mean, it's certainly intrigue. You guys definitely... I know Alex was not planning on suddenly being face-to-face with Sidon. And potentially getting completely smelted. Of course, the true heartbreak of the entire session was losing the spear. I fully recognize that. I know.
It was very sad.
With that, thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.